Recently, I've been feeling a little bit uninspired, but like the majestic eagle, I was struck with it in the middle of the night, a moment of inspiration to make a Jamaican and Mexican inspired chili. I gotta tell you people, it turned out so damn awesome, and yeah, without further ado, let's make this shit. Look, not every chili has to be your same old chili. The one that you pour out of the Hormel can or whatever, and it's thick and it's all, you know, the same thing that you've had every time. Sometimes we can make different styles of chili, 100%. This one, as you know, is gonna be Jamaican and Mexican inspired with that Jamaican jerk style. Also with those awesome Mexican peppers that we love, the dry chilies that we love. So we're gonna go ahead and make this, and I can't wait. So without further ado, people, let's make this shit. Stay tuned. Okay, to kick things off, I'm going to take some beef tallow, about 2 heaping tablespoons of beef tallow, heat it up in a pot, and then I'm going to take about 2 pounds of ground beef, drop it in here, and start searing the ground beef. And we want to get a nice marinade on this ground beef, by the way, so really work it through and make sure you're chopping it up along the way. And let's not forget to heavily salt and pepper according to your taste to this. And yeah, I like a lot of pepper and not too crazy with the salt, but you know. So we're going to go ahead and stir it around and get this ready to go. In the meantime, we need to start prepping some other stuff. First comes our onions. So I'm going to dice a whole white onion here first. Then I'm going to move on to the garlic. All right, then I'm going to go ahead and move on to my garlic. I'm using about 12 to 14 cloves in this recipe. You can use far less. Feel free to do so. It's your food. You eat it the way you want to. I'm going to slice those down, then move back to my meat, separate it from the hot pot here. And of course, I've turned off the heat at this point. And then I'm going to move on to other elements. For now, I'm going to give a nice hot water bath to 2 ancho chilies that are dry. Get those nice and steamed up. Then I'm going to drop some beer in that pot to get some of that nice fond from the bottom off. So I'm using just a regular cerveza here. So just like a Corona, if you will. Then I'm going to drop in some white onions. Yes, these are cooking. This is about medium heat. And I'm going to go ahead and start sweating these down. Now to add our spices. So I'm going with like 1.5 tablespoons of allspice here. Drop that in. Then I'm going to move on to some other ingredients as well. So we've got ancho chili powder here. You don't have to use this. I just like it. That's about 1 teaspoon. And then I'm going to go ahead and add in 1 teaspoon as well of some paprika. So you can go about 1 teaspoon to 1 tablespoon like I did. If you want it less, you can go to 1 teaspoon. Then I'm going to use some cayenne pepper. So for the cayenne pepper, it's going to be about 1 teaspoon of that. Then we've got some thyme. That's going to be 1 teaspoon there. And then we're going to go ahead and add in 1 teaspoon of nutmeg as well. Yep, these are a lot of ingredients that go in jerk. And so bring that in. And then I'm going to go ahead and add in some cinnamon as well. So teaspoon of nutmeg, teaspoon of cinnamon. Don't want too much of that in there. And then I'm going to go ahead and start adding in our garlic. So dropping in the garlic, start working this through. And we want to start, you know, mixing this up, making sure everything's well incorporated before we move on to the next phase. Now I'm going to go ahead and add in 2 tablespoons of tomato paste, mix that in as well. And don't worry if there's some fond building up at the bottom. We're going to release all that later on. That is just pure flavor, people. Then, of course, we're going to have some brown sugar. So about 1 teaspoon to 1 tablespoon of that. I don't like it too sweet, so I try to go less on the brown sugar and give it a nice mix. Then after some time, those ancho chilies will be nice and soft in that hot water. So we're going to destem them, drop them in. Don't dump the water. It's going to be really essential later on. Then we're going to drop in a peeled knob of ginger. So 1 peeled knob of ginger. And then we're going to add in about 2 to 3 cups of beef broth. Go ahead and drop that in there. And then some of that hot water from the ancho chilies. So we're going to add in about 1 cup of that. That's a lot of flavor there and give this a nice blend. Then we're going to go ahead and go back to our pan, get that fond off the bottom with about 1/2 cup of beer, and you can use as much beer as you want anyways. Scrape it up, then take some soy sauce, max about 1/4 cup. You can go a few tablespoons if you want to do that. And then I'm going to go ahead and drop in our beef, and then 1 can of kidney beans, 1 can of black beans, and of course we can't forget 1 can of corn. Now, I should note, don't add a lot of salt at the beginning if you're going to go heavy with the soy sauce. Be careful of that.
Also, we're going to drop in our nice mixture that we made in the blender with our broth and our ancho chilies. Then we're going to drop in 1 cinnamon stick and 2 bay leaves. These will be removed later on. We're going to bring this to a boil and then let it simmer for about an hour to an hour and a half. It's up to you. And we can't forget 2 habaneros. If you can't find Scotch bonnets, grab some habaneros. And you can cut them open for a little bit extra heat as well. And we are ready to plate. So I'm going to start off with the rice. Don't worry, it is in the description below. You can get the actual recipe for this. Then our chili, and look at it. It's awesome. It's brothy. It's rich. And then we're going to go ahead and add in some garnishes. So we're going to start off with some cilantro. Then we'll move on to some jalapenos, some lime, and of course, some green onions. And we're ready to eat, people. And I got to tell you, this one was so damn good.
All right, and here we are. So this looks so damn good. I gotta tell you right now, it smells amazing. The cornbread. This is a recipe I'm working on right now. It's not fully there yet, but I will have it for you in the future. The rice, you can check this out in my mock chipotle video. I will link it in the description below. And as for the chili, this is not your mom's chili, so let's go ahead and try this. Here we are. This is so damn good. I mean, you get the spices from the jerk spices. You get the Mexican seasoning too. This is so damn good. You got to try to make this. Don't just go to the can, undo it, and just throw it in a pot, heat it up, and say that's chili, because you got to make some good chili. As for me, people, I'm going to eat this. And yeah, cheers. I'm out. All right. And we are done. So here it is. Oh, there goes the cornbread.